Welcome to our channel. Watch the video to the end, leave a like, and subscribe to support us.
Antarctica was once a green land filled with dinosaurs, but now it is a frozen continent, larger than the United States and belongs to no one. It's not hard to find. Wherever you are, head south until you reach the large ice mass at the poles of our planet. It is located within the Antarctic Circle and is the largest single mass of ice on Earth. The continent is larger than the United States and even bigger than all of Europe. Antarctica was officially discovered only recently. Countries did not know of its existence until 1820. After its discovery, it took another 2 decades to confirm that it was a new continent and a few more decades to decide on the name. In the word Antarctica, anti means opposite, so Antarctica literally means opposite of the Arctic. Even before scientists discovered the land, the ancient Greeks already theorized that there must be a southern continent to balance the Arctic to the north. Additionally, some scientists who have studied Polynesian art and oral history believe that Polynesians discovered the continent over a millennium before Europeans.
Today, we all know this frozen land at the poles. Due to its location, there are only 2 seasons, summer and winter, and both last 6 months. In summer it's a bit warmer and the continent lives in full daylight, while in winter it is dark all day. 98% of Antarctica is frozen. This continent alone stores 60% of the planet's freshwater. Yet, despite all these water reserves, Antarctica is the world's largest desert. By definition, a desert is an area with sparse vegetation and little snow or rain. Note that an abundance of sand is not a necessary condition, although the continent has some sand and even sand dunes. Moreover, it is very windy. Antarctica is the windiest continent on Earth, and wind speeds can reach 320 km per hour, which means they are faster than hurricane winds. The little snow that the land receives never melts, it accumulates over time for centuries and millennia, so there is a thick layer of ice. This makes Antarctica full of hidden secrets. There's a whole new world under its ice. For example, there are many mountains on the continent, about 2,700 meters high. But we don't see all those mountains because they are all hidden under the ice cap that is almost 5,000 meters thick. There is a lake under over 3,350 meters of snow. The lake is called Lake Vostok, named after the Vostok research station, under which it lies undisturbed. Originally it was just a hypothesis. More than a century ago, a scientist suggested that the huge pressure created by tons of ice could lower the melting point of ice in the lower layers of the mantle, creating a liquid that could form a lake. He was unable to prove his ideas during his lifetime, but others continued his work and confirmed that this theory was true. There is also a canyon in Antarctica, hidden under huge masses of snow. It is deeper than the Grand Canyon that we have in Arizona. There is a mountain range that divides the continent into 2 parts, East Antarctica and West Antarctica. The western part of the continent is experiencing higher temperatures and is starting to melt. If West Antarctica were to melt completely, releasing its stored water, it could raise the average global sea level by about 5 meters. This would be enough for some cities scattered around the planet to disappear completely. Probably the first to turn into a watery world would be the capital of Thailand, Bangkok, which is only 1.5 meters above sea level. Then it would be Amsterdam in the Netherlands, followed by Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam, Cardiff in the United Kingdom, and New Orleans in the United States. Today people work hard in Antarctica, residing there for many months at a time to study this mysterious continent. Over the years, even some children have been born there, but it is not a country and the land belongs to no one. It is governed by the Antarctic Treaty System, a peaceful research and collaboration agreement that suspends all territorial claims. It was first signed by 12 nations and now has 59 supporters, half of whom have decision-making powers. The continent is occupied all year round by researchers from all over the world. About 5,000 people live there in the summer and 8,000 in the winter. Yet no one resides there permanently. People come and go, and scientists take turns spending time there. The average annual temperature is -34 degrees Celsius, but there was a time when Antarctica was as warm as Melbourne in Australia is today. It was about 50–40 million years ago.
They weren't present at that time, but the continent had green forests and dinosaurs roaming its lands, lounging in the sun in a 17 degrees Celsius environment.
This was before the penguins. In our era, it is so cold that you won't even find trees or shrubs in Antarctica, just snow. The only plants that can survive such extreme temperatures are lichens, moss, and algae. Even people cannot endure such freezing conditions for long periods of time, so the continent has never had an indigenous population. Well, if we don't count the penguins, seals, whales, and some other types of birds that live there now. The fauna of Antarctica is among the sparsest and least varied on the planet because only a few organisms can withstand its extreme conditions, and because it is not allowed to bring non-native organisms. So, if you decide to travel to Antarctica with the purpose of exploring, well, you can't. Hey, I'm not the one making the rules. But those few species that live at the South Pole totally dominate the place. There are no more than 5,000 people there, but there are about 20 million penguins. They are a kind of settlers, and penguins, their first ancestors lived in Australia and New Zealand. There are still some species of penguins, including the smallest penguin on Earth, which is only 30 centimeters tall. However, most penguins migrated to Antarctica at some point, perhaps because they were attracted by the increased availability of food. It's not the cold that makes them love the land. It turns out in fact that most penguins leave the continent at the end of summer. The only ones who stay there are the male emperor penguins, and they do so to warm and protect the eggs left by their mates. But where do all the other penguins go? Initially, it was a big mystery even for scientists, but then they attached small tracking devices to the legs of some of these animals and solved the mystery. Penguins go to live in the southern oceans, while it's too cold in Antarctica, a kind of semester-long vacation, I would say. When they return, it's the time when the eggs left by the male emperor penguins begin to hatch, so families can be together when this happens. Penguins feed on various types of fish. The ocean is full of them, despite its cold temperature. In some areas, the water can reach temperatures below 0 degrees Celsius because it's salty. But the fish do not freeze there because they have antifreeze proteins in their bodies. There are also about 1 million seals in Antarctica, and they too enjoy eating fish and can hold their breath underwater for 2 hours. They see much better underwater than in the bright light of day and also use their whiskers to locate food. Their breathing holes in the ice can freeze while they are away, and they must use their teeth to open new ones. Seals can even sleep underwater and then occasionally resurface to take a breath without mistaking. Extraordinary. So, although Antarctica may seem a remote and inhospitable place, it is full of life and mysteries that continue to attract scientists and researchers from around the world. The work of these experts not only helps us better understand the dynamics of this frozen continent but also provides valuable information on the impact of climate change and strategies to preserve our planet. Antarctica remains a land of extremes, but also of incredible beauty and scientific importance.